Tower with the Dividend Star King back with another video, and today we're talking about assets versus liability. Me and my two sons went to the duck pin bowling avenues, and we was playing in their arcade. They have this thing where you can win this PlayStation 5, right? And I'll zoom in for you. It's a 4-night PlayStation 5, and it's like one of them things you put money in, and the thing comes down, and you can win the PlayStation 5. Now, I seen this, and it dawned on me, I think it's time to teach my older son, he's 7, assets versus liabilities. And before, if you don't know, an asset, to me, buying an asset or making something an asset, it puts money in your pocket. This thing that I buy is going to generate income, right? A liability is going to cost me money. That's how I determine what's a liability and what's an asset. So my son saw his PlayStation. Now, mind you guys, he has an Xbox. So he has an Xbox. So he don't play games too much anyway. He has his VR headset. So if we would have, let's say we would have won this, right? I mean, I wouldn't keep it because we don't need it, you know. A VR headset and Xbox, it's enough. But I said, son, so this PlayStation, is it an asset or a liability, right? To see what he says. He said it's an asset. So why is it an asset? Because you could play and have fun. No. Does the PlayStation make money? Now, I had to put it into a term that he understands. I said, does this PlayStation put money in your wallet? He said no. Okay, correct. So this PlayStation, you buying it is a liability. But you could take a liability and make it money. He said, how? Well, some people rent out their PlayStation. Some stores let you rent out certain things. You could rent this out to somebody. I took one of his friends, for example. If so-and-so wanted the PlayStation for a week and they're going out of town, you could rent to them for like $50 for the whole week, right? So now this PlayStation is now an asset, right? So that's the difference between an asset and a liability. This PlayStation can make you money, or if you have a building and if you have 10 PlayStations there and some VR headsets, and if you rent them out to people, that's an asset. So I'm teaching my son slowly what's an asset and liability, and think of ways where you could take a liability and make it an asset, right? So somebody had to teach him this. I'm gonna teach my son this stuff. He needs to learn. Now, this PlayStation 5 here, you see on the screen. If I would have won this, I wouldn't keep it. I would take that PlayStation 5. Because we have an Xbox, an older one, that we don't really play. So there's no sense in me having the whole PlayStation here collecting dust. For me personally, I would have sort of $400 or $500. Take that money, either put on towards our mortgage payment, because right now we're trying to pay off our house. I either put towards there, or I put that $500 into my brokerage. So, and also, now he's not, he's learning assets and liabilities, but I wish he knew that, hey, take this PlayStation, you can sell it and put into your max or high yield ETF, right? Now, you're not gonna make a lot of money weekly, but that PlayStation that you sold, made money from, can go buy an asset that pays you weekly. That's a whole different ball game. We're not even there yet, but that's what my mind goes to. I'm not keeping this PlayStation if I win it. I'm gonna sell for cash, take that cash and buy them some stocks. That's what I would do with the money, because I don't need it. It's gonna collect dust, and then the longer I have it, the value will lose, because over time they'll make a new PlayStation, a new game system, and this PS5 would be, worth less. So I would have sell it, get rid of it. I might just put towards our home and pay it off. But this is a quick story that teaches my son liability and assets. And the arcade in the building had these little racing games. And I said, son, this arcade game, this racing game, is an asset or liability? He said it's a asset. Well, he says a liability. I forgot what he said. I think he said it's a asset. No, it's a liability. It's a liability. And he said, "Could it cost money to play?" I said, "Correct. This is a liability, but it depends on where it is. If you buy this machine, this game, and put it in our home, and it costs money for electricity to run it, and it doesn't make you no money, it's not an asset, it's a liability. It costs you $1,000, right? So you're down $1,000. You got to pay for shipping, to ship it to the house. You got to plug it up. You got to run with electricity. It's costing you money. But if you were to, say, rent it out or have put money in it so they could play, now it makes you money. So I told him, the guy who owns this building has arcade. He bought these machines, right? The machine stays here all day. It's here every day, all week, all month, all year. This same machine is gonna be here. And every day, little by little, people pay $1 or $2 to play this game. And it makes him money. That's an asset, right? So that's the difference between the asset and liability. So he's learning slowly, but I'm gonna do more exercise with him. Hey, is this an asset or liability? And let him explain to me why it's asset or why it's liability, so he understands the difference between the two. So this is a good lesson, the stuff he likes. Use it, and let's change the mindset of my kids. Let's change the mindset of all kids. We should teach our kids how to invest, why we invest for them, but also teach them that what's an asset, what's a liability. Because when I was younger, I bought dumb things. I'm not saying don't buy stuff that you want, but understand what you're buying. That's the thing. Because I knew that if I was talking about Roth IRA when I was 18 years old in my brokerage account, I might be a millionaire today, almost 40. So I know that, yes, you should buy things you want. You should live your life as well. But keep in mind that the first things you do with your money is you buy assets first. And if you buy asset, then you turn into if you buy a liability, they can turn to an asset, you should do that too. So that's the end of my video. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this thing. I'm teaching my kids asset, liabilities, and changing their mindset on money. Now, I'm not saying don't buy what you want to buy or enjoy life. You should enjoy life. You should buy a PlayStation 5. You want a PlayStation 5 and you work hard, you should get one. But also keep in mind that before you buy that PS5 and you start saving money for it, when you have a paycheck, you make sure that you buy some stocks, ETFs first. You put to your retirement, your Roth IRA, you put to your brokerage, then you go ahead and save money for PlayStation 5. Or what you could do is put enough money into your brokerage account where you're making $100, $200 a week, and take that money, buy your PlayStation. Now you're changing the game. You're using your assets that produce income to buy your PlayStation. So now your paycheck goes to these assets. It goes to these assets all the time. It buys. You buy assets, and those assets buys the PlayStation. Then that's a whole different game that people don't play. That's the top game. Because if I want a PlayStation 5 right now, I wouldn't use my paycheck. I'll use my dividends. I'd rather take the $500 and put to an asset that's gonna pay me every single week. Okay, that's better to me. I made damn near $400 this week in dividends. I'm almost there, so I'd rather use that money, let that buy the PlayStation, right? Take my money. That doesn't mean. What do you guys think below? This time for the King. Thanks for watching.